All right, guys. So on today's episode of Shitbox Garage, we actually got a little bit of a shitbox. Got a 1977 on the boat and 1978 on the engine. Icon bass boat. I don't think Icon is around anymore. There's a little shot of the nameplate, if that helps anyone know what kind of boat it is. Really, main thing I'm worried about right now is the motor. I got the engine running better, slowly improving. The current issue I want to address today and try to get answers on and get a game plan for solving is when I have this out in the water and I try to use the power trim to trim it up to get up out of the pocket and get on plane faster, immediately the engine sinks down and back down to zero trim. It's like the hydraulics can't hold back the power of the motor, and I can even take and push it down by hand. So I'm hoping it's just a bad seal in the lift cylinder and not a pump problem, because new pump is looking like $300. Seals for a cylinder is like $30. And then the other one, I believe, is just a shock absorber from everything I've read so far. Only thing I am unsure on is what the hell this hose goes to. It goes to like a little push button valve or something in here. And there's a little lever to flip for the rod to it up in here. I'll take the camera off of the tripod here and get a good shot of it. So it's this little lever that's seemingly spring-loaded. Well, I got that rod turned. So that rod is currently holding this lever up, and then there's this little button that it can push. And that goes to this black lever here. Hopefully you can see it. Way up in here. You can flip that. And then it unlocks this lever and like manually push it down. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to do. It seems to be on the pressure side of the pump, so maybe it's supposed to be like a manual way to pump it up, because it does kind of move the thing, but it doesn't hold it. It doesn't make progress, which also kind of makes me believe, hopefully, it is just bad seals inside the lift cylinder. So that's going to be the project today, is get this off and get it apart, especially the lift cylinder, to see if there's anything obvious, and hopefully it's just lift cylinder shit and not a pump. Also, I don't see any good way to disconnect this pump electrically, so I'm probably going to cut this wire somewhere and splice in a connector of some kind, and hopefully maybe I can address how to fix the broken shit right there. So yeah, we'll start getting this worked off here. So I'll just keep this recording and cut out whatever I need to cut out. Grab a drain pan here. I'll probably try to leave this alone, leave it on the boat until I can be for sure that it is, if I get the lift cylinder off and don't see anything in there, then I'll deal with that, taking that off. Get that little kickstand down. And hopefully it takes pressure off everything. A bit of pressure in there. Got wrenches and shit right here.
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Why? 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 Why?
What the hell? Turn that. I was so sure that with how old it was and being Chrysler, everything was going to be standards. So either I'm missing whatever 10 mil roughly translates to in standard, or it's just a 10 mil because it's hydraulic lines. I don't know. Let's get our lines off. I'm wanting to just focus on the lift cylinder for now. Go around the other side so I don't take off this side. Let's get the gloves on for this. I forgot the gloves. Yeah, left. Okay, here's our other pipe. Now I need to get probably this bottom rod off first. See if we snap rings. Also don't know what that rod's supposed to do. Looks like it's just kind of there. Alright. So next I'll get this bottom rod out. Pretty sure I got a snap ring pliers somewhere. Yeah. Alright. Snap ring pliers are too big. And that's going to make this all kinds of fun. It's too big. Okay, let me see what I'm doing this on the other side. Is it also just another snap ring? It is. Wonderful. Okay. Figure something out. I almost had it. Go. This one. Okay. I need to get this guy out. Damn it. I almost had it. Just slipping off. Yeah, I'm getting caught on this other snap ring right here. I think that shit has come out. So just going over what's going on here, I realized I hammered the pin all the way one way, and that kind of jammed up on the plastic shim for the lift cylinder, so I had to work it back out the other way. Probably could have slid those the other way. Let me slide those the other way, that way I can just leave that rod hanging in here. Now Look at that guy. I might have to take this rod out, but that's also just a cotter pin over here. Really mangled cotter pin of that. I wonder what this rod is for. Looks like it braces those for some reason, somehow. I don't know, but this upper rod should be easier. We just got a nut on this left side, and also a nut on that side. So actually, we'll just try to pop that nut off real quick on this one side. That's 3/4. Okay. And there we go. There's our lift cylinder. That wasn't too much of a bear to get out. A little awkward. But I also wasn't able to find any videos on this prior to doing this, so we're just kind of winging it. We'll take this over to the workbench and try to pop it open. And hopefully we see something obvious that's a failure. Alright, we'll see how that camera angle works. So I don't have the little spanner things for properly getting into those little holes on the front face there. So I'm going to try, hopefully a pipe wrench will get it good enough right here if I can find one. I did cycle this by hand a few times, and I know it's open, but it moves really smoothly and freely, so it kind of makes me think seals are in fact wore out. Also got the shock absorber off, and it doesn't do a whole lot of much. If I'm able to pull this around by hand, pretty easy. What's the I don't know, 100-pound motor plus all the torque it puts out doing to that? Probably not a lot. We couldn't find any parts diagrams that showed seals for this, but it does look like it comes apart as well. So maybe I'll take this part too and just, I would assume maybe it's similar seals, or I can just find universal shock absorber seals of the same size. That'll work. But for now, let me go try to find a pipe wrench or something to rip that cap off with. Alright, couldn't find pipe wrench. They're probably all at work. So we're going to see if I can get lucky with some channel locks. I might have to move the camera here a couple times. I would hope, being such a small cylinder, it's not on there too damn tight. These are also not great channel locks though, so who knows? Yeah, let me move the camera here. Oop. Unplug the camera light. Ah, yeah, that wasn't too bad at all. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Rip that out. Let me go get my drain pan under here. With about 6 drain pan. So I got an O-ring on the cap. Let me come over here. O-ring on the cap. O-ring on the piston. Doesn't look bad. There's some schmoo in there. But even if it's not cut, it could just be wore out and not sealing. Let me get a light and check out inside that bore. Oh yeah. Well, see if I can get the camera to get a good view in there and see some score marks. I don't know how deep they are yet, but you can also see down the bottom there's a bunch of hopefully not metallic crap, but that looks awful metallic-y and pasty. So I'll clean this out, try to figure out what I got going on perhaps. Maybe it is a pump, and that's going to suck because I was really hoping it was just going to be a lift cylinder. But I don't know. We will keep checking it out here. Yeah, that is. Let me wash off my fingers. That definitely does not look good. There's one little score there I can kind of catch. Almost. I can't fully catch it with my fingernail, but I can feel it. Now, it doesn't catch, I can feel it though. Let's see, where's my brake clean at? Oh yeah, look at that, up on the threads. That goop right there. And almost. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna throw this in the ultrasonic cleaner. Really knock off anything. That might. Oh, that's probably the shitty paint that's coming off. Yeah. It's just the shitty paint. That's fine. Let me throw that one in the ultrasonic cleaner real quick. And then I'll take the shock absorber, I'll take the seal off the piston and take the shock absorber apart too. Let's check out this piston. We just got this one O-ring. I don't see any nicks or cuts in it. No gouges on the metal of the piston. This seal is way down in there. There we go. Didn't see any signs of this O-ring leaking, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Just going to try to get off here without breaking it. Go. And somehow, looks like the piston comes off. Wonder how I'm supposed to get that off without screwing it up. See if I can get lucky here. Putting it in the vise, throw a cloth over it, the channel locks. Hopefully I don't mar it up. From what I've seen of pistons, there's usually either a nut holding the piston on, or the piston unscrews. And I can see threads at the bottom of this. So I'm pretty sure the piston unscrews. I'm not marring it, so that's good. Yeah, it's turning. There we go. Ah, shit. Oh, I didn't realize I was biting through the cloth. Shit. Okay. I have to try to buff that out and hope I get away with it. Yeah, it's not too bad. Oh, man, that is on there, though. Let me double wrap this. Hopefully it'll stop biting through and marring it up, because I don't want to make this any worse than it already is. Oh, man, those are tight threads. Whoop. Yeah, I can probably buff that out. And that seal in this cap is definitely gone. At least that. This dust boot, yep. This dust boot is all dry rotted out. Get that out of there. And then there's just an O-ring down in here that is also probably... Yeah, there's bare cap and piston. I'll have to buff up that piston a little bit. Nothing too deep, I don't think. And we'll try throwing some seals in that. Hopefully that helps. Probably going to end up taking my pump apart too, just to make sure at this point, because there was quite a bit of weird schmoo in there. Alright. See if we can get this shock absorber apart. Just because, at least this one, it's a self-sealed thing. So I just need to get it apart, throw new seals in it, throw new fluid in it. Ugh. That one's a little bit tighter than the lift cylinder. This one probably definitely needs the drain pan under it because no way to drain it. So it's got whatever fluid it has left. Yuck. Yeah. That's definitely got some water in it. That is baby poop brown. And does not have a seal. Yep, there's even corrosion on there. On that piston. Hopefully the camera's seeing that. So definitely some water got into there. Maybe that's all the problem is for that guy. Maybe this guy would just clean up, throw new fluid in, and it starts acting more like a shock absorber. I can even see some corrosion inside the cylinder. Ah, yeah, that has all kinds of goop. Where's my flashlight at? That is all kinds of gross in there. So I don't know about that. Maybe I'll have to find something else that works. There's definitely a separate liner in there. Wonder what the chances are I could just find a new liner to throw in there. So everywhere I was looking, they had parts diagrams for this boat. Only showed this shock as being replaceable as a whole unit, no service parts. They also all said unavailable. So. That is gross and goopy. Yeah, we'll throw that in the old shock cleaner too. Sounds like it might still. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little pop. It might still work. Maybe it just needs cleaned up and new fluid, and maybe this the seal on the rod in the cap. Drop the body. Maybe just the seal on the cap needs replaced because it was leaking. Either this O-ring or maybe the seal in the center, if possible. Maybe. We'll see about that later. See what my options are there. If I can't find anything online, I might try. I think there's a few hydraulic shops around here. Granted, they're for like forklifts and shit, but I wonder if they have small stuff too. I'll have to ask around. Alright, decided I am going to go ahead and take the pump off too, just so either I can see exactly what all is wrong, or if maybe the pump itself is the problem, maybe the bearing or something is shelling out and that's what all that gray crap was, or at the very least to make sure everything is cleaned out. So I'm going to start by taking this little extra hose off the side here that I still not sure what it is. I think, just random guess, it's a manual pump up. The same thing, 3/8, 10 mil, whatever. I don't somehow lost my 10 mil and found a 3/8 fucking wrench. So, the 10 mil goblins are always running around. Oh, let's move this before I lose those. For that rod. And hopefully the mic's not picking up the ultrasonic cleaner. I apologize if it is. Okay, that's loose. I need a flathead. Hopefully it's not tight as hell. Ow. Something just stabbed the hell out of me. Oh, it's tight as hell. Skinny but longer. Nope. Shit. You know what? Rather than deal with a stubborn flathead, let me just pry that bracket open and we'll push it back closed when we're done. That seems like the more peaceful option here. And I'll just leave that guy alone because I don't think that's critical to what we're doing here. And then seems to be 3 bolts here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this cord off because there's no other connectors to pull that off quickly. Right about. Yeah. Okay. So you got 3 wires. All 3 wires have separate colors. Got blue, green, red, or blue, green, black. My bad. Well, I got connectors. I got fancy actual connectors. I'll just put one right there. And that'll make servicing this in the future, if needed, easier for me or the next guy, because I bought a second boat and now I don't know which boat I want to keep. I want to get this one fixed up so I can sell it for more than what I bought it for first. Obviously, as you do. And this one might need some more work than the other one, actually, but we will see how it goes. And whenever it goes up for sale, I'll make sure I mention it on the channels. You know, it's a long shot that anyone from my channels would buy a boat from me by any chance, but I don't know, maybe someone will be interested after seeing everything I do to it. And I've already had this boat out 3 weekends in a row. It runs pretty decent. I've been getting the motor running better. It floats. It does all the boat stuff. It loves wide open throttle. So you can get up and scoot. It's just not the greatest idling. It was the best this last weekend I took it out. It actually got to a point where it'd sit and idle and wouldn't die. First day I took it out, which was the same week I bought the boat, literally 2 days later. Same thing. It loved having throttle, wide open throttle. Low throttle and idling, it just would not do it. Messed with it a little bit, found some corrosion spark plug wire, fixed that. Found tore spark plug boot, fixed that. Did some adjustments to the idle speed set screw on the throttle linkage, and that helped. Then second day I took it out, or second time I took it out to a lake, did pretty good. It would idle for a little while and be a little finicky, but it worked. Was able to actually use the motor to get around that lake. First lake I brought it to, I had to pretty much just use the troll motor to get around. But yeah, ran some sea foam through it, got new fuel in it, did that spark plug wire. And second lake I took it to did a whole lot better. Then forget what I did. No, spark plug wire corrosion was found after the second trip, so third trip would have been after spark plug wire issue was found and fixed. Second trip it had fresh fuel and fresh sea foam in the fuel. But yeah, third trip it ran pretty damn good. It would actually sit and idle for a very long time before it would die out. It got better with time, as I'm guessing that sea foam worked through and did its job. And yeah, by the end of that trip, we were leaving, so I took up to the boat ramp and left it running, left it idling the whole time I was backing the truck up to the ramp and everything. And it's about 10-15 minutes because we were kind of bullshitting too. It sat there and idled just fine and ran pretty damn good. Again, loves wide open throttle. That two-stroke loves to eat. So, and then just last night before this video was being recorded, I took the carburetors off, took them apart, cleaned them out, realized the floats weren't set right, so I got those set right. Maybe that'll help a bit. Also realized that the idle air screws were set to like 4.5 turns out, which means that's how the last guy had to tune it to get it to run right for him, then sure, whatever. But as far as I'm aware, about 2 turns out's a good baseline, so Did that, and got the cars back on, ran it on the muffs. Seems to run fucking great on the muffs, but of course I need a container and actually dip the lower unit in some water. That way there's some back pressure, and that'll actually help me really tune it and get a better feel. Because when I bought it, the guy had it running the muffs and it seemed fucking perfect, and obviously I got out to the lake the first time and it wasn't. So, all right, pumps off, over to the bench. But yeah, all that yapping beside, point is, boat's getting better and making small improvements to it. It's seemingly getting better. We'll see how it goes. I think I want to take the actual reservoir and pump side off first. And go grab that little flathead I had. So I'm not so much worried about the electrical side of the pump because I know that works. It goes up, it goes down out of the water. And in the water, just once you put throttle to it, it drops down. See if I can get you guys a better view here. Woo. That'll be all right. 4 screws here. Looks like there's a gasket under there. Also another bolt right here. Looks like maybe it's just a plug for other applications. Dumped fluid all over my table. It's fine. Trying to keep everything in decent view for you guys. Trying to get better at my camera skills. Oh boy. That's a lot of gray schmoo. Looks like metal in the fluid there. Yeah, it might be this lower pump unit that's fried. Yeah, that's metal. Well, fuck. A little O-ring here. Looks like a few 10 mils, probably 3/8. I'll pop those off. We'll see if we can find some guaranteed carnage here. Oh, it's a 7/16 bolt. I need the vise though. Get those off. So, I'm in my garage with no AC. Got a little fan going, but yeah, that humidity's kind of brutal. So, forgive me if I seem to be losing my mind. I'm doing my damn best. I don't mind the heat, but man, that humidity just does something else. It would be cool if I could just find a rebuild kit for the pump, but so far all the parts lists I found just show buy a whole pump unit, and no one has one for just the lower unit, but they do have an aftermarket whole motor and pump assembly, but that's like $300. I've seen $250 to $350, and man, I do not want to spend that on this old of a motor and boat. At least not right now. I'd rather rebuild it for, I don't know, $50 would be cool. Yeah, this is toast. Something is toast. That's all fine metal. This gunk, dude. Absolute schmood. Won't even fling off my finger. Gotta wipe it off. Also working at a really weird angle here just to try to keep the camera happy. Got some spring tension on there. That's neat. Okay, the spring. Oh. Okay, little check balls and springs. A few more springs. And then it's just two little pump gears. Hell, they're even still pumping. I don't know much about hydraulic pumps. I wonder if I can get away with cleaning all this out and putting it back together. The new seals and everything. See if I can get these out here. There's our drive gear. If anyone sees this that does know about hydraulic pumps, especially old fucking tiny ones like this, let me know if I'm cooked before I go losing my mind. I don't know if this one comes out. This one looks like it may be pressed in. Oh, no, it comes out. There it goes. Doesn't look toasted. Maybe. I don't even feel that with the tip of the screwdriver. Maybe we can get away with cleaning it up, throwing it back together, and seeing what happens. Man, that is just a lot of crap. I'm worried I'll be wasting my time. I just gotta make sure I track where those little balls go. Oh, I can see. Maybe the camera always saw it. I just now realized that there is some marking on this lower body. I don't feel nothing. That is my nail smoothly. I mean, even over here, does the same thing. Does not catch on any of those marks. Interesting. Let me see if I can put these where I won't lose them. Looks like that ball will go down into there. Try to take this lower half apart too, see if anything's hidden crazy in there. And spring. Oh, camera, don't fall over. Don't fall over, camera. Okay, nothing else falling out of that. Is this supposed to be a manual release valve? It's been broken off at some point. Let me take this little thing out here and see if it reveals anything. Yep, nope, that is just a plug for that port. Probably just for a different application. See some pliers. See if this is supposed to. Maybe that's why it leaks down. Is this manual release valve is broken or something? I also don't know if it's supposed to bottom out or what. It's just kind of turning. It's also been broken off by somebody. Let me take this snap ring out. I'm assuming it's going to have a spring-loaded thing in there, and hopefully it doesn't fucking explode. Again, if I haven't stated it already, I'm going at this blind. I haven't been able to find any information on this power unit. Probably because it's so old. It's a Chrysler, not a Mercruiser or anything. Found a lot of Mercruiser stuff, but not much for this guy. And I know I'm ruining this snap ring, but it's fine. I can get new snap rings. That's easy. It is spring loaded. It's a tight ass spring because I can't get that to push down at all. Maybe it's just also the snap rings corroded in there. Now what? So hopefully that's going to pop up or something. Let's see, can I get this rubber boot off? Maybe that'll reveal something cool. Ah, another snap ring. Wonderful. Great. Fuck. Now what happens if I take this snap ring off on... Oh, the other one's already off. Well, this one moves freely at least. That's cool. Okay. Now in theory, this goes out one way or the other. Improvised hammer. It moved a little bit. Maybe it threads out now? There's probably... Oh, it just pulls out. Okay. Cool. Looks like it's just supposed to be a valve you turn one way or the other. Turns on and off, and those markings are gone. So no idea if maybe my manual release valve was just halfway open. There's some other valving down in there. See if it'll just push out easily. So that pulled out vertically, then maybe. Stupid shit again. Again, it moved a little bit. Don't know how those innards come out. I don't want to get too violent with them either. Maybe if I rest right here. Oh yeah, that was working. Something was... Now this cap is flush. Okay, so I guess I'll just keep gently tapping at that. Let me see if I have something softer. Just gonna have to be careful with that screwdriver and hope I don't mess anything up in here. And there it goes. Okay. I got all kinds of dirty dropping down like that. Okay, so there's the part that was the cap. I already showed you that. And then this was the little guy down inside there. Trying to get a good angle on camera. It's a little piston, it looks like. So it looks like this would just press that little pin. There's a little pin on there that matches up with. On that side, as well as on that side. And then I'm guessing, just depending on how this valve is rotated inside that bore, those holes would line up with somewhere for it to manually release. I would assume if those holes are vertical, because again, I don't know if the camera can see it, There's a hole in the top here and a hole in the bottom, which that hole in the bottom is just where our line goes. There's also a hole in the side, on the left side. So I would assume, I don't know for sure, but one way this would close and one way this is open instead of fully seating like I thought it would originally. But the markings for which way it needs to be are gone. I never got anything to change while I was turning it and pushing down. So, nothing conclusive really. I think what I'll do is I'll clean up everything, try to find new seals, as many new seals as I can. I might have to just order some universal O-ring kits and hope I get lucky on some of these small ones. But yeah, I think I'll just clean everything up real good, not drop things and lose them. And then try it again. If I can't find anything for the shock absorber, I think I'll leave that be. That might be the least of my concerns as far as just getting the function of everything. Yes, I know I don't have everything in a really clean space right now, but when I go back together with it, I'll have a clean space. I might even do it just inside the house since the garage is a disaster. But I think that concludes my shenanigans for tonight. That'll give me time to edit the video and hunt down parts. So yeah, if anyone has good info, suggestions, ideas of where to find rebuild kits or seals or anything like that, or somewhere that I could just get a new whole pump assembly or whole trim unit possibly for less than fucking $250, that'd be cool. Otherwise, I'll clean everything up, find new parts, and fucking try it again. But I think that's about it for tonight. We'll see you guys.